to my day ones. If you need some, say some. If I'm on the yellow, it ain't nothing for my real one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout out to my day ones. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout out to my day ones.
I mean, yeah, you hit the nail on the head on that one. But my question is, why do you think somebody, as an entrepreneur that say they want to be an entrepreneur, why do you think they get that high for just talking about it? Because there are newcomers out here that they talk about it, they talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. What's the deal with that?
Well, I think that one of the things is, and whenever you hear this in this way, it's usually because you don't want somebody saying something bad about your dreams and then they crush it. But it's still just as important to not tell your moves until you actually do it, because even the good comments toward you could stop you. Because if you get a high off of being like, oh wow, they were so impressed with my idea, I feel successful already. You're not there yet. You just had a good idea and they told you it was a good idea. But you gotta make it happen now if you want that next round of recognition or whatever.
Josh, you got an input on that?
A lot of times too, I feel like a lot of people are not successful with trying to become an entrepreneur, well, becoming one, is because I think they get caught up with the lifestyle of somebody that already is entrepreneur, and they think that they can do that, but they don't know the stress. And see, when you look on social media, you see a guy living lavishly. Hey, this is my business. This was what I did, and now I ain't got to answer to nobody. And then you think to yourself, like, hey man, I hate my boss, or I hate my leader, or whatever. I should do this too. They only showing you the success of it. They're not showing you the ups and downs.
Yeah.
They're not showing you the fails. They're not showing you you got to work with what you got. So then when you get out there and let's just say, just like cutting grass, when you get out there, let's say you got one more weed eater to push more. And you thinking like, man, I don't really have that many yards. Yeah, because what you don't understand is the next guy, he got to round more, a push more, edger, hedger, trimmers, pole saw. He's fully capable to do everything he has to do to be a landscaper. Versus you wonder why you're not getting yards like him, because see, you just a grass cutter. He's a landscaper. So now what you did, you went out and spent a lot of money and started on something that you really have no idea what you're doing, because you look at that lifestyle that he has where he can be his own boss, make his own money, all that. And so you think that's what you can do. But then when you get to the gray area, the bad side about owning your own business, about how you have to get through drought times and customers not being satisfied and not getting any jobs to do. The first time that happens to you, you out. You work on a job again. So I feel like a lot of people see it. Which entrepreneurship is a big thing now. It is. It's like a really big thing. Everybody want to sell hair. Everybody want to braid hair. Everybody want to cut hair, sell shoes. Everybody wants to do that. But see, they don't know some of the downfalls of that is you have to be able to understand. You have to be able to understand it's gonna get rough, especially when you have to depend on yourself. Every day you have to depend on yourself. See, with the job, you know you're gonna get a check. If you don't get a check, you can file a lawsuit. When you depend on yourself, you don't get a check. That's on you.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think that's what
happens,
tricks a lot of people nowadays too, is that these young people, they'll see, like the pictures on Instagram of the lifestyle, right? But how many years do you think it took for that person to even be able to take that picture? You're not seeing everything that led up to that. You're just seeing exactly what it is that you want right now, but you don't even know how to put your first brick down, to be able to walk the steps.
Mm-hmm.
The best example for that, what you just said, is when I first started working out, I was going in the gym seeing guys like Kai Green, and I was like, that's where I'm gonna be in 1 month. And then in my head, that's what I thought. But see, I didn't know Kai Green been working out for what, 20 years? Versus me, I'm like, and when 1 month passed and I didn't look like that, I was like depressed. I was like, man, my chest can't even jump. Man, what am I doing wrong? I was
My
ready to give
chest
up.
can't be just.
Well, because like Dub said, like I said, I opened the book and went to the end before I started in the beginning.
Boy,
Yep.
that
So
boy
at that
Josh,
point, I was destined to fail.
Josh showed out with that. Now that he can jump his chest, he showed out the
Oh
other
yeah, I
day.
don't do it
Yeah,
now.
he was all
Yeah,
yeah.
Josh learned real quick that you can't read backwards, and it makes sense.
Exactly. I mean, so that's just. I think that's part of one of our big problems is that we get into stuff that we think is going to be easy, and I think one of the biggest problems is we get into stuff wanting to become rich. We want to get rich. That's my main focus. It's not on customer service. It's not on how you do the job. It's not on how many jobs. It's just I want to get rich. And I think that you having that type of mindset takes away from how you perform because you're
Yeah,
not
it
really
does.
caring about the person. You just care about the
Exactly.
money.
And I've learned that. See, like in business, you can do it two ways. You can be in it for the money, or you can be in it not just for the money. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So what I've noticed is like if you're in it not for the money, then you'll oftentimes get more money because of that. But if you're in
Yeah,
it, like for instance, if I go into a job and say, all right, $5,000, whatever, that's what the ticket is, and I'm just concentrating on that. I'm guaranteed I'm gonna get 5,000. If I get the job done right. But
Mhm.
if I'm just focused on that, I've totally missed out on the experience of the customer, all this other kind of stuff. That now I could have made more than 5,000 because maybe if I had not been so worried about the money, I would have been more focused on the client. They would have had a better experience. Now they're bragging all over town. And, without me even being aware of it, that 5,000 turned into 50,000, over a
Exactly.
course of time, so.
and
Exactly.
I mean, I'm at fault too, because I too started out as one of those wannabes. Well, I guess not just like a wannabe, but when I first started Forex, I mean, I thought it was gonna come quick too. I mean, I made that 2,500 literally in 3 days, and that was off of just pure. That was
It's kind of
gambling. I'm
hard
like,
not to think it's going to happen quick if you make 2,500 in
yeah,
3 days and you ain't never done
it
it
Yeah, I
before.
is.
mean,
Yeah,
but I think that's what all of us want to, because I was there too with the whole I'm gonna be rich.
man.
Josh had got his free $5 from Robinhood. He thought that was over. He's like, oh man,
Boy,
this is for real.
this is it.
But that's how I mean, like I said, I literally thought that. So when we made the podcast, I said, hey, we got a year. I'm thinking a year was the magic number. We got a year, but
Mm-hmm.
we did an update in one of the audio vlogs talking about, hey man, that was a little bit too soon. But we didn't realize the ups and downs. Like personally, I didn't realize the ups and downs that came with trading and starting a business.
I
And it
mean,
literally took a lot of losses,
yeah, I mean, because
with
I've been in business 3 years and I'm still not where I want to be.
yeah, I mean, that's perspective right there. 3 years. And they say put a total of what, 5 years? 5 years when you get everything stable, and then you
I
that's
say
really
that's
what
pretty
your
accurate
time
because I
frame
can
is.
definitely see things starting to shift into a
Right,
more smoother direction.
right. So I mean, even me it's been over a year now, with trading, and now I just got to the point where I can literally flip, my $40 into $100 and be consistent with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it took a lot of losses to do that. I lost a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. Literally, I lost a whole bunch of money just trying to do that. But now I actually got to the point where I'm actually consistent in making profit. And so it was all about learning how to manage my money. But a lot of people they see, like Josh said, they see the luxurious lifestyle people living, and they literally just go off of that. And I mean that's cool, but we also gotta get realistic. You gotta have a plan in play. You can't just start off saying, yeah man, I'm gonna make $14,000 a month and I'm gonna have the biggest house on the mountain and blah. That's cool to dream about, but then you actually gotta go back down to reality and start
Well,
taking those
see,
small
Dennis,
steps.
Well, it's like one of those things. It's like one of those things. Like for me, I don't like to talk about super big things or whatever,
Mm.
just because you put
Whoa.
unnecessary pressure on yourself. Like
You do.
If you keep to yourself, you can focus on yourself. You know, because it's like if you're one of those individuals that just be like, he has like literally the best idea in the world, and he calls 12 people and tells them it's going to change my life and all this kind of stuff.
Hey, why you
And
looking at
it
me while you
doesn't-
saying that, bro?
I'm just saying. Well, 'cause I can't look into the sun on Josh's phone.
This is sunlight in the way, man.
But no, I'm saying, like, you know, for real, it's like, you know, just keep those things quiet. Just do something about it, and then just if you're doing something big, it's going to be seen. Like, why diminish it by talking about it before it's done? Because that's all you
Right.
do is slow yourself down.
Yeah, that's like
Then you leave
Josh
yourself
when he
open
moved
to
his chest at the party the other day. I'm still kind of mad about that because he literally stole everything. I had a couple of looks. Some people glanced at me, but you know, I guess you know when I was rapping, my verses didn't do anything because all he had to do was move his
But
pecs.
I'm gonna tell you like this though, it took a lot of pain for me to be able to remove my chest. So I learned
Yeah, I saw Dom's daughter jump up.
One thing.
Willow about went over there. She thought it was a milk fountain. He said, "Daddy, I want some chocolate milk."
Yeah, milk fountain. But anyway, for the listeners, the good thing about what Levante said is he lost a lot of money. He lost a lot of money. See, that's bad, but in a sense it's good because he lived to tell the story how he was unsuccessful with it, but now he's got to a point where he's learned it and he knows how to be successful with it. See, that's the thing about being an entrepreneur with anything you do. You have to be able to get through because it's going to be tough with anything you do. You got to be able to make it through the tough times so you can come out stronger every time. You got to be able to make it through tough times, come out stronger every time. So if Levante would have, just because of that one bad experience, let's say he just quit doing the stocks and stuff, whatever he's doing. Let's say he just quit. So now to everybody around him, he's gonna be like, "Nah, man, you don't need to get in that. It's bad."
Exactly.
Whatever. He would have never known he would be. If that would have happened, he would have never known that he would be the good as he is now if he would have just gave up. So that's what I mean about sometimes through the pain and the rain, you gotta stick. You gotta stick in there because one thing about a storm don't last forever. It might last pretty long and do a lot of damage, but it does not last forever.
Yes, yeah, and going off of that brings me to a perfect time to talk about, you know, with these new entrepreneurs, they do get off focus. And this is part of it too, you know, again, when you're just thinking about the luxurious lifestyle, you're thinking about what you can have and all that. And a lot of times if it don't work out for the new entrepreneur, you know, they tend to quit or they lose that fire. So, you know, the question that I have for you guys is when that happens, you know, how can they refocus their focus? What information can y'all give new entrepreneurs about that?